Good evening, and welcome back to the One True Red podcast. And unfortunately, we've got a One True Red special this evening. Unfortunate for Liverpool fans, anyway. We've got Mikey D, who's a Arsenal fan, on the pod today. And Mikey, last night the news broke, or yesterday early evening, the news broke that Mo Salah will be leaving Liverpool after 9 long successful seasons. Disappointing time for Liverpool fans, but you as an Arsenal fan, how do you see it, and how do you feel about him leaving?
Hey,
And I know you're going to come with, yeah, it's great, but
no, no,
in
not
terms of,
even. You're ruining my opening speech.
my bad. How do you feel about it?
I come here in solidarity with my brother Rel for the sad loss of Mohamed Salah because you guys are finished on that side without him.
See what I
It's a
said.
disgrace.
See what I said. But yeah, how are you feeling, Mikey? In terms of not just obviously, there's the hater side of things in terms
Yeah,
of Liverpool being not going to be as good as they have been over the last few years, but Mohamed Salah as a player potentially leaving the Premier League, you would expect it's a loss to the league, not just a loss to Liverpool.
I think so. But many Liverpool fans this season wouldn't suggest the same. And so it's quite sad, really, that it's going to end like this. Personally, Salah's been one of the best players in the Premier League that we've seen. He's not the greatest, as some might try to suggest, but he's definitely up there. He's been very, very good. His numbers will not be matched ever by somebody coming in on that right-hand side for Liverpool. Literally never. So whoever you get is not going to live up to the expectations that everybody had of Salah. Salah's numbers this season, I don't even think are that bad compared to his peers either.
Of course.
But people are rubbishing it and saying that he's deteriorated, he's not got it anymore, he's useless. They were happy when he wasn't in the team. And who do we blame for that?
Well, that's a good question, Mikey, because one of obviously he signed a 2-year contract last summer for quite a lot of money. We understand he's not even finished the first year of that contract, and he's already announcing that he wants to leave. So he said when he had his outburst back in, I think it was November time, where he said people at the club have thrown me under the bus. Is that what we're seeing playing out now? The club trying to sort of smooth his exit?
It's definitely a smoothed exit. I mean, this way it works for both, to be honest, because Liverpool can go forward with their planning and Salah can have an easier exit and probably sign for clubs that might not have been able to afford him if a fee was required. So, yeah, I'm just happy today.
I bet you are. And as you said, Mikey, although this isn't been a Salah season of old, his stats are still as good as any other wide forward in the league, if not better. So he's not the player he was last season or in previous seasons, but he's still contributing, even though he's not been on anywhere near his normal form.
Listen, this is the thing that I try to argue on this pod over a period of time, that it didn't require him necessarily to be as good as he was to even be better than the rest in terms of that right forward slot. But Liverpool supporters got spoiled. And this is what happens. Now, who's going to come in? That's the big question, isn't it? There's a long kind of run into this. You like to splash. I think I labelled it yesterday, Summer Splash 2026 for Liverpool. Again, but is it going to be spent in the right way? So I think you suggested, did you suggest that it was kind of forced?
I'm not saying anything, Mikey. I don't know if it's forced. My opinion, I actually don't know. I don't know. I don't know whether he always planned to move on after the one season. I don't know whether this season has been a slog for Liverpool fans. I imagine for the players as well. it started badly with the tragic loss of Diogo Jota, and then the season has just been just from one. It's just gone back from bad to worse. So I don't know whether that's just made him feel I was going to leave after my 2 years was up. I might as well go now, especially if he's hearing. And I don't know whether this is true, but a lot of the big journalists are saying that Liverpool got no intentions of getting rid of Slot. So if that's the case,
I was just going to say, with this announcement, I think it's pretty clear that Slot is going to be in post next season. There were queries back in, was it just pre-AFCON, as to who was going to last longer at Liverpool, whether it was Salah or Slot. Slot appears to have won the day. And I'll say it from now, that's not the right choice for Liverpool.
I agree.
In time, we will learn whether it was. But I guess in an era where people suggest there's too much player power, we've suddenly got a club that turned against one of their greatest players in history.
Yeah, you could spin it that way. I'm not going to, as it's my club.
I'm just saying it how it is.
As an outsider, you can spin it that way, but as it's my club, I mean, you can look at it. You can look at it two ways. In terms of, I was surprised. I saw the announcement first, and then I saw the detail later, and I was surprised to find out that we're letting him go for free. But
some Liverpool supporters still don't know that he's going for free.
Well, those of you who don't know, here's the news for you. He's going for free. The fact that they've waived the transfer fee can be looked at two ways. One is they want him out and they want to get him out as easy as possible, because obviously the guy's on big wages. North of 400 grand is what some people have suggested. For somebody of his age, 34, I believe, a transfer fee, and that means he can only go to Saudi Arabia, really, and maybe PSG, but they don't need him. So the fact that they've got rid of the fee, I think you could look at it as, well, they're trying to make sure he's gone. It could be a respect thing. He's given us 9 years. They're making it easier for him to leave. There's that. I think, but it also could be that it's just beneficial for both sides. So Liverpool can, with certainty, know that he's gone, so they must find a replacement. They may be having conversations already. In our group chat, I was saying that Klopp has previously said that it's the March international break where Liverpool as a club normally sit down and talk about their signings for next season and their plans for next season. So it could be that that's what's accelerated it, and that's the reason why they've said, okay, we need that certainty. You want that certainty. Let's get rid of the fee so that you can make a smooth exit, and we can start planning for life without you.
Do you not think that there's a degree of mismanagement here from Liverpool?
In what sense?
6-7 months ago, there was speculation of 80 to 100 million bids from Saudi. And then 6, 7, 8 months later, you're agreeing for your big asset to go for free.
Yes and no. The massive no for me is, after what he achieved last season, when I sat down at the start of, 15th of August, whenever the league started, and thought, yeah, there's signs that Mo Salah is going to fall off a cliff this season. There was no signs of it. So nobody's expecting a drop-off. Nobody was expecting the drop-off, not just from him, but from the team, to the extent that it's been. So in hindsight, you can say, well, you should have just taken the money and not bothered to re-sign him. But he's just had one of the best seasons of a single player has had in recent times. We've won the league. He wants to stay. We want him to stay. He's our best player. Why would we sell him at that point? And imagine if we did.
Let's go with that story.
But no, okay.
Let me just. So we'll go with that story. That
there
was nothing you could do but to re-sign him, offer him the big money, and for him to stay on.
Mm-hmm.
And you give your manager nearly $500 million. He spends a lot of it on attacking areas, reforms, reshapes the way that Liverpool attack, changes the way that Liverpool play by the personnel gone out and come in. And so you almost nullify your biggest threat in Mo Salah, because you bring in other avenues and channels of attack, and you don't play directly into Salah. You definitely don't. The gameplay has just changed around Salah, and so people can say he's fallen off a cliff, but I think it's been constructed. Yes, he hasn't been a shop, but this is a construct. And I won't bring it completely to Arsenal, but for me, it's similar to Saka. People are saying, oh, Saka this, Saka that. If you actually watch Arsenal, he doesn't have space to run into because of the tactics. He hasn't played the ball as much and as early as he was previously. And so he can't effect the games as much. And that is what's happening with Salah. You can say he's missed some this season, but he missed some last season.
Yeah, he's always done that.
Exactly. He just scored a lot. And he's put some good assists on this season as well, the same as last season. So yeah, you aren't going to be able to replace him.
That is something I do agree with, in terms of, I do believe strongly that it has been engineered. It has been the tactics of the team have been his form has been affected by the tactics of the team. It's very clear from his average positions, heat maps in games, touches in the box, received passes near the box, shots in the box, all of that stuff, all reduced this season. And that's not because he can't run anymore, is what everyone wants to say. It's because the team isn't playing in the way it was played last season. And I have no idea. I've got no idea why that's happened, other than Slot and Richard Hughes. Slot is a coach, so he plays with the tools he's got, right? I don't think Richard Hughes has told him, you've got to stop playing the ball to Mo Salah. You've got to stop letting him receive the ball close to goal. You've got to stop him getting shots off closer to the box. Richard Hughes hasn't told him to play him further wide than he was playing last season. So I do think it has been engineered by the manager. And that's partly the reason why I would be disappointed if we go into next season with Arne Slot still as Liverpool manager, because I don't think he's handled this season as well as could be. And that's even making allowances for all the things that have gone wrong. I just don't understand why you would win the league at a canter last season, and then you'll start the season and change the tactics and nullify your best player. I just don't understand why you do that. And just to add, before you come in, Mikey, I understand that Trent not being there, maybe not receiving as many of the balls as he would have done, but that's only part of the issue. Part of it is that very clearly our wide players are told to stay wide. That is how we started this season, and it's very clear in the stats as well.
Well, you've changed the way you play in a number of areas, haven't you? I've heard moans from Liverpool fans all season about Gravenberch and his change of role. There seems to be some tinkering that's gone on with the Liverpool setup that wasn't required, because you did win the league at a canter, as you said. It actually doesn't make sense whatsoever. You brought Mr. Me in up front, hashtag Ekatike. You brought 116 in, and they just love the ball. They just want touches. And they have more touches on the ball than the other players would have had because of the way that they play and their styles. So stylistically, you just haven't brought players in to bring the team on. And that you can blame Richard Hughes, and some would, but for me, it is a Slot responsibility. Slot has set up the team. Slot has enabled Salah to be the fall guy. Slot is the one who pulled out Salah, in my opinion, before other players that should have been pulled out. Slot has constructed this whole thing around Salah.
Yeah.
I'm Alan Carnage. Yes, thank you for tuning in. I'm Alan Carnage. Hope you're behaving yourself in Never Neverland. So yeah, really and truly, I blame Slot, and you are going to be disappointed next season because Slot is going to be there. this is a clear indication of it. He's going to be handed more money, and so the future of Liverpool is in Slot's hands. And thankfully, Slot isn't the man to take you forward, and so you're going to dip.
Well, I could see the glee on your face as those words were coming out of your mouth. We don't know yet about what's going to happen, but the news that's coming out of the usual suspects, Ornstein, etc., is that Liverpool have got no interest in changing their manager. I can't see how that can be true, though, especially as we went, Mikey, you and I went through the fixtures we have left this season, and it's not looking good.
It's not looking good
for us. It's not looking good for us, exactly.
The way that this manager manages your team, yeah, the way that he's managed his transition of Salah, it's going to be Van Dijk next season.
Yeah.
How is that transition going to be handled?
Alisson as well.
Who?
The guy that there's a goalkeeper, I believe, called Alisson. But
and listen, if that Mohamed really gets in, you're in bigger trouble. So you got a lot of rebuilding to do, and that's potentially being in 6th place this season, supporting Aston Villa.
Gabby once made a point though. What player from last season is smashing things this season? None that I can think of. Semenyo, yeah, he finished the season strong. Yeah, but there's not many. But that's the thing about this season though, is that unlike last season, it's not like you had Isak banging goals for Newcastle, you had Salah banging goals.
But,
this season,
Igor. What's his name?
Yeah, Igor Thiago.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
He's had a massive season, considering.
Yeah.
João Pedro has had a good season.
Yeah, he's come good.
Someone's not happy with Stella.
The comments are interesting today. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens next season. Now, in terms of replacement, you said already, Mikey, that you don't think that we can replace him. In terms of goals and assists, I just don't think that is possible. I don't see a player out there that is available to us that can come in and do that for us. But there are some rumours, though. Yeah.
And enlighten me and let me have a little laugh.
Enlighten you. So there's a couple of players we've been linked with. What's that?
Barcola in there?
Barcola, we were linked to in January or early around that time. I don't see.
Let me see if the player I'm thinking of is going to be mentioned.
I don't see. In terms of goals and assists, it's just not comparable. So I don't know what we'd be buying him for, to be honest. And he plays off the left, I believe, but he can play off the right. I saw you guys you've been linked to Caradonna, who we were linked with back in January and were interested in. I don't know how he's going to leave after 6 months, but Arsenal being linked to him this evening, so that's interesting. He's a player I would like because he can play on both sides as well. But there is a player that has been mentioned in certain circles, and it's been a long-standing interest, Mikey.
Yeah.
Now, you poo-pooed the idea, but apparently there's a certain Michael Elise at Bayern Munich who has a release clause.
I think you need to lower your sights, fella.
That may get activated in the summer. Now,
what's the release clause? What's the release clause?
It's the number hasn't been put out there, but
and he's going to go to Liverpool.
If we get Champions League, that is the suggestion.
He's going to leave Bayern, where he's tearing it up, to go to Liverpool.
That is what is rumored by certain people. Now, it's not completely wild, Mikey, because it is, as I said, a long-standing interest. We were linked with him when he was at Forest. We were linked with him when he was going to leave Palace as well. So it's something that, and the thing with Liverpool and Michael Edwards, who's back at the club now, is that once we have a an interest in a certain player, we tend to continue to have that interest if that player continues to play well. So just putting it out there, Mikey. Michael Elise, release clause, summer summit. What was it? Splashathon?
Summer Splash
Summer
2026.
Yeah, Summer Splash 2026. Just putting it out
So,
there.
do you want my recommendation?
No, actually, it's gonna be that guy at West Ham, the 30+-year-old at West Ham or something.
You know it is.
It's not.
Jared
Is that what
Bowen.
you're gonna say?
Yes.
No chance. No.
How old is he now?
He must be in his must be early 30s now.
No, maybe turned. But
Yeah,
he's gonna be potentially relegated. It's gonna be a nice price, I'd imagine.
I'd take him as a backup to Michael.
I think you need backup anyway.
Yeah, we do. We do for sure.
Because Chiesa's been the backup. Elliot was the backup before him. Elliot's languishing at Aston Villa. So yeah, maybe you need both.
Yeah, but, good point. I am Alan Carnage. The manager, not everyone on this pod agrees, aka Uche, but I think the manager changing is probably, to be honest, like I've said on this pod, you look at our squad, going back years when we had when Brendan Rodgers left and Klopp came in, and the squad was a mess back then. We've got decent players. We've got good players. We haven't got a massive squad. We've got good players, though. We've got a good first 11, right? So if a new manager comes in, I don't expect him to be languishing where we are at the moment.
You're not happy with your first 11?
What's that?
You're not happy with your first 11?
Not completely, no. I want a new left forward. We need a new, based on this season's performance. We
need a new left forward. You need a new right forward. You need a right back. You need Kirkes might get there. You need a centre mid because you hate McAllister.
I don't hate.
You need a centre back because Konate is a donkey.
He's just a mess. I don't hate the guy, but he is a mess. We should have got Eze. Unfortunately, he's at Arsenal now. Injured as well, is what I hear.
Yeah. The Leverkusen game.
Mirail Jamil, hello. Welcome to the pod. If you're not subscribed, please do. For all things Liverpool and Arsenal. But yeah, I think we do need to make some changes in the summer. Elise on that side seems to be who we're targeting, or at least
if you got him, I'd be horrified because I actually like Elise. But also, I'm just thinking, won't you have too many players that like too many touches on the ball?
Do you know what? I think Richard Hughes is playing Football Manager a bit too much, because the type of players he's signing are sort of the type of players you'd sign if you're trying to build a squad on Football Manager. So there's a fair point there. I haven't looked at Elise's stats this season, so I don't know what his assists and goals. I think he scored a few. I think he scored a few goals. I don't know what his assists are looking like, but
he's working.
Yeah, but
then there's Diaz, and you got rid of him.
We did. But the good news, Mikey, is that there's also some links to the Leipzig left, right forward.
I haven't seen much of Diomande, is it?
Yeah, Diomande.
I've not seen much of him, but you're going to have to pay top dollar if it's Leipzig.
Of course, that's the thing. They don't mess about when it comes to their transfer fees. So that would be a thing. I mean, even Elise, it's going to be big money. There's talk of we're going to sign at least one midfielder. Wharton's one of those that's been mentioned. English tax, looking at 100 mil probably. So another 300, 400 mil spent.
Incoming. Slot, yeah. Where's CT when you need him to label this guy?
I think that I think the model though, Mikey, is that it's not really Slot spending the money; it's Liverpool. So even if he's there, and obviously he's going to say, "Yeah, I like this player, I don't like that player," but I don't think he's the one that's making. He's not picking the targets. Put it that way. So he may have an input, but he's not the one that's saying, "I want whoever through at Sunderland or whatever. He's not. It's not one of those. So I'm not too concerned if Slot is involved. What I'm concerned with is a repeat of the Brendan Rodgers situation where he should have been sacked at the end of the season before. He then went to October. We started the season poorly. The season was then a write-off in the league anyway. And Klopp came in. So unless the only way I'll back that is unless the manager that they actually want isn't available and they're going to try and ride it out until he is, which is what happened with Klopp. But if that's not the case, summer seems like a good time because there's managers out of jobs at the moment. We know who one of those is, and that getting a top manager mid-season is going to be very, very difficult. So you're going to have to write off that season as well, which means by the end of that season, you would have lost Van Dijk, you would have lost Alisson because their contracts end at the end of that season. So I think they're just wasting people's time if that's what they're going to do, and I hope that's not the case.
That's music to my ears. It sounds beautiful. It's like poetry.
But it has happened before, Mikey. So that's the scary thing for us Liverpool fans.
It's going to repeat itself because you and I know Slot should have gone, and Slot has been given the power. He's been given the keys, and he's going to burn the house down before he leaves.
Well, the other thing is, the other interesting situation with Liverpool and Slot is that he also has only 1 year left on his contract from this summer. So is he going to want to go into the season knowing that they haven't offered him a contract, which I don't think they're going to do?
Like he's got a choice. Who else is going to take him?
He might want to jump before he's pushed, and he has got form.
How much is he being paid?
A fair amount. I have no idea, to be honest. A fair amount.
I'm sure significantly more than any other club will pay him. Considering he came from Eredivisie.
Yeah, maybe. But in fairness, he came from the Eredivisie, and he hasn't had a new contract since then. So he signed a 3-year contract. Maybe there's bonuses involved in there, which he's definitely not going to get this season. But yeah, I don't know what kind of money he's on, but it won't be massive money.
Do you know what though? There's still time for that extension.
Let's hope not. But back to Mo Salah though. He was actually, when he joined the club, he was second choice because it was, I've forgotten his name now, that went from Dortmund. I can't remember his name. That we had at the top of the list, the short guy, the one that scored the Götze. Yeah, that's who we were after at the time. Yeah,
wow, you are lucky.
That's who Slot
Klopp.
Yeah, exactly. He fell off a cliff after that. That's who Klopp wanted.
Health problems.
The club, the likes of Michael Edwards, convinced him that Salah was the one, and he certainly has been the one. I just want to give you some stats, Mikey, just before we round off. I just want to give you some stats of what we're celebrating here from this guy. So 310 appearances.
Wait, remember, I'm here. Solidarity,
yeah? Whilst you're laughing at us. Yeah. 310 appearances for Mo Salah so far. 189 goals. 92 assists. 7 Player of the Month awards. 4 Golden Boots. 2 Playmaker awards. Never even heard of those. 2 Player of the Season awards. 2 Premier League titles. 1 Champions League. Scored in a final. There's many, many more records that he broke. Most Premier League goals by an African player, 199. Most Premier League assists by an African player. Most goals by a winger.
African-centric stats and what's going on, man?
Most goals by a winger. Most left-footed goals, Mohamed Salah. Most goals and assists in a 38-game season, 47. Most goals in a 38-game season, 32. Oh, no.
No, Haaland has got more.
Haaland broke that one.
Reading these stats.
There's loads, Mikey.
Listen, let's just leave it at the first 3 stats that you said and the awards. That's the matches played, the goals scored, and the assists. That is enough to cement him as one of the greatest attacking players that's ever played in the Premier League.
Absolutely. And also one of the greatest. Liverpool got a long history of great attacking players, but he's up there. He's definitely up there as one of the greatest that we've seen. And I've been lucky enough to see him play in person many a time. There's one of the goal that he scored against Man City where he dribbled past half the team and then slotted it in. Thankfully, I was there to watch that. I was there to see the Chelsea banger when I thought that goal was going to win us the league that season. But how many charges have Man City got? 119, 115.
Is it 19 now?
Something like that. So obviously we didn't win that league. We didn't win that league, but I've been lucky enough to see him in the flesh. I've been privileged enough to see him in the flesh, and it definitely is an end of an era for Liverpool. Goes out a legend, and it's a shame it's ending in such on a downer, given what happened last season when he led us to the Premier League title. But what we can say is that the season isn't over yet. There's still some trophies for us to play for. And as I was about to wrap up, somebody's just joined us.
Is it actually a good connection? Is the question.
We can hear
you. We can hear you.
Your stuff.
You can hear me. Okay. What's happening?
Yeah.
You guys all right?
We're good, Uche. Uche's out of the country at the moment, but he's joined us because he wants to pay his respects to a Liverpool legend.
Yeah, one of the greatest to ever do it for me. Just a truly world-class player by any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, it's sad. Obviously, his powers waned this season, but going forward, I think he's by far the best player I've ever had the pleasure to watch, and that's saying a lot for someone who rated Stevie Gerrard as the best player before this guy came through. So yeah, it was it's kind of a happy moment as well, because I think you should leave on a high rather than what's been happening this season. It's not really been good for anybody. So yeah, to Mo Salah, it's a big thank you, and we hopefully it's gonna receive a people's welcome. If only I could get the ticket for the last game of the season, I would like to do that, but obviously there's no chance of that happening. So I shall be paying my respect next week instead.
You will indeed. You'll be at the Liverpool-Fulham match. Hopefully we'll pick up 3 points. Hopefully Salah will be playing because he's currently out injured. So hopefully he'll actually be playing in that match. But yeah, I think we'll end it there, Uche. Thanks for joining us.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll be back on Sunday, live 7:30. So thank you to all the new viewers who joined us and contributed. We have a live interactive show every Sunday. So don't forget to like this particular stream. Back on Sunday, 7:30. And we'll see you next time. And we're out.
Bye.